Very few films of 2022 were more memorable to me than Matt Reeves' The Batman, and not much of the film was more memorable or more culturally pervasive than its use of Something in the Way. It's arguably the perfect melodramatic rock ballad for the new age of a caped crusader with an identity crisis. In his efforts to depict a more broken and driven Dark Knight, Reeves based his depiction of Bruce Wayne on none other than Kurt Cobain after listening to Something in the Way while writing the first act of the film. Reeves' Batman is a vigilante who doesn't exactly have this all down to a science yet. He is reclusive, battered, and his closest friends worry about his ever-increasing isolation as his sanity decreases. This Bruce Wayne inhabits the suit with an almost desperate obsessiveness, exposing signs of PTSD. He is the embodiment of not justice, but vengeance that pounds those he has dehumanized as the element into the pavement with a vitriol and rage that scares even those that walk in the light. He is more than the night. He is a feared nocturnal predator, the judge, jury, and executioner of those he deems worthy of severe head trauma. This is revealed concisely in the grand entrance, where a much more foreboding and villainous Batman steps into the light for the first time. Music is a notably driving thematic force in The Batman, and that is immediately apparent in the opening scene. We start the film quite literally in the shoes of the villain, on the outside looking in at everything he's ever wanted but couldn't have. Family, warmth, wealth, stability. Ave Maria mocks him from the background, serving as a reminder that he has no mother. And yet the religious tone twists the perspective of the scene into something more akin to a shocking and violent crusade. The animalistic savagery of his attack is driven by the years of knowledge that his circumstances were caused by the very same people who had everything he wanted. Society was blind to him because they were far more focused on the sob story of a billionaire orphan, and yet he uses that blind spot to great success in the final scenes of the film. Batman's ultimate blind spot is due to the fact that, because of his upbringing as a pitied and coddled orphan, he is inexperienced in blue-collar trades. The carpet tucker, first used as a weapon, is ultimately the key to unlocking this terrorist plot. These were the intentions of the Riddler all along, and as Batman wrestles with the attackers, he is quite literally wrestling with himself. To claim the mantle of the embodiment of vengeance is to neglect the nuance of justice, in a way, becoming motivated by the same factors that motivate the element. As he carries the torch into the dawn of a new day, we are left to ponder the implications of this new Batman and new Gotham as the somber acoustic guitar picks up again. Released as part of Nevermind in 1992, Cobain wrote Something in the Way from the perspective of a future version of himself who is homeless and dying beneath the bridge he used to fish under growing up. Through the lyrics, Cobain is reminiscing about a childhood memory through the lens of a disillusioned and marginalized adulthood. Cobain was no stranger to disillusionment, notably writing in his final letter that he had not felt the excitement of listening to, as well as creating music along with really writing, for too many years now. Hindsight gives the song the sobering tone of a man who can only see his fond childhood memories as nothing but a grave. In just 4 lines, Cobain paints a complex picture of duality and isolation. He was known as a lover of animals and had pets throughout his life, which brings new context to the lines about fish and pets. On the surface, it's okay to eat fish because they don't have any feelings. Seems like a strange line, especially for the tone of the song and the film. However, it completes Cobain's 4-line character analysis. This is a man who is nothing but isolation and the animals that he can force to be around him. This is a man who was tossed aside by society to live out his final days in the rain under a bridge, and yet still maintains the ability to dehumanize fish enough to eat them. Societal seclusion, abandonment, dehumanization, all of this sounds strikingly familiar. To allow the trauma of his past to drive his crusade for vengeance, Batman effectively built a house of cards with the idolization of his parents at the center. He was subliminally holding all of society to an unrealistic childhood perception. But if even his father was flawed, what does that say of the element? To pull that card is to crumble the identity, and yet, as the sun rises on Gotham, Something in the Way takes a new tone. A tone of self-awareness, almost a confession. His idolization of the past stood in the way of his ability to become a beacon of hope in an increasingly dark Gotham. However, I believe the future is bright for the Batman.